Welcome to the TokyoBill Weekly Update. Recent stories around Japan of interest to me, TokyoBill. Today is January 31st, 2026. Police arrested a 62-year-old University of Tokyo professor, Shinichi Sato, for allegedly accepting bribes related to a research project on plant cannabinoids. He is suspected of receiving entertainment worth about 1.8 million yen over 30 sessions from March 2023 to August 2024. The project began in April 2023 and was funded by private companies. Investigations are also underway for a 52-year-old representative from a cosmetics firms association suspected of providing the bribes. The association had applied for the research project in September 2022, and Sato had influence over its direction. In February 2023, following a meal paid for by the association representative, Dr. Sato began requesting entertainment twice a month, involving visits to high-end clubs and brothels. A former junior associate professor is also a person of interest in the investigation. The University of Tokyo has apologized to the public. Shogi player Hifumi Kato passed away from pneumonia on Thursday last week at the age of 86. He was born in 1940 in Fukuoka Prefecture and trained under 9th Dan ranked Shoji Kenmoji. Kato became the youngest shogi professional at 14 years old at the rank of 4th Dan, a record not broken for 6 decades, and maintained a 62-year career, earning praise as the greatest genius since Emperor Jimmu. He achieved 8 major titles and had a record of 1,324 wins and 1,180 losses. Popularly known as Hifumin, Kato also set a Guinness World Record for having the longest career as a board game puzzle writer. Known for his cheerful personality, he remained active after entertainment. His wake will be on January 27th, with the funeral on January 28th, led by his eldest son, Junichi. 10 people have died in the past week due to severe winter weather and snow-related incidents. 6 fatalities occurred in Niigata Prefecture, primarily from medical issues while shoveling snow or falling from rooftops while trying to clear snow. Areas in Hokkaido and Niigata have seen more than 1 meter of snow, with one town in Aomori Prefecture having received about 4.5 meters. In Uonuma City, nearly 2.5 meters of snow has fallen. A low-pressure system later this week is expected to worsen conditions, bringing more snow and strong winds across northern Japan. People are advised to be cautious about snow falling off of rooftops and to be mindful of avalanches in mountain areas. Voters have shown a mixture of enthusiasm and displeasure during Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takeichi's first campaign speech in Tokyo for the upcoming general election on February 8th. One longtime voter found his first time witnessing a live political speech to be inspiring, with Takeichi citing national security and the necessity to deal with the growing number of foreign residents. Other voters felt the snap election is too soon after her taking office in November, feeling she has not accomplished enough to guarantee election success as yet. Still others suggested an election call immediately after taking office would have been more impactful for the LDP, taking advantage of the optimistic momentum. Regardless, as the first female prime minister in Japan's history, Ms. Takeichi can count on a new cadre of young female voters. Monday, January 26th, marks the 25th anniversary of Soo Hyung-lee, a student from South Korea, and Shiro Sekine, a Japanese photographer, who died at JR Shin-Okubo Station in Tokyo while attempting to save a man who had fallen onto the tracks. All 3 men were killed by an oncoming train in the effort, in front of many witnesses. Lee's mother, Yoo Chan-shin, along with the South Korean ambassador to Japan, Hyuk Lee, commemorated the victims by placing flowers at a plaque and holding a moment of silence. Ms. Shin, whose family established a scholarship fund from condolence money that has supported 1,294 students internationally, emphasized the importance of improving Japan-South Korea relations, noting her son's belief in moving forward rather than clinging to the past. Japan is seeing more Muslim visitors, but many struggle to find places to pray. With a record number of tourists visiting last year, especially from Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Middle East, the challenge for travelers is less about finding mosques and more about having quiet, clean spaces for prayer. The Japan Tourism Agency is encouraging hotels and transport hubs to create such spaces. Experts have suggested involving local Muslim communities to help identify accessible locations. At last year's World Exposition in Osaka, a prayer room was set up to help accommodate Muslim needs. Major airports and cities like Tokyo and Osaka have begun adding prayer facilities, and Haneda Airport reported that nearly 2,000 visitors per month made use of the space they provided. However, areas like Shikoku and Kyushu have fewer prayer spaces due to limited demand and space. This may change depending on future tourist trends. An internal report from the Unification Church, dubbed the TM Special Report, allegedly contains approximately 3,200 pages of details on interactions with Japanese politicians. Notably, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe mentioned around 500 times. The report, primarily in Korean, reflects church leaders' communications about events and political interactions from 2016 to 2023. It reveals multiple meetings between Abe and church officials, which has triggered scrutiny and investigations into the church's political influence. Former church leader Eiji Tokuno acknowledged his involvement in the report but refrained from detailing exchanges with politicians, citing a desire to avoid causing trouble. Political experts recognized the report's credibility, emphasizing the need for politicians named within it to clarify their associations with the church. Let's take a short pause. In case you're wondering, I'm TokyoBill, a long-term expat from Canada with an interest in the local craft beer scene. I started the TokyoBill as a blog, where I wrote about local pubs and events, and then included news articles on Japan that I happened to find interesting, not just the big stories carried by the mainstream media. If you like what you're hearing but want further information, please visit theTokyoBill.com for links to the original articles. Thanks, and now back to this week's news. Toyota is recalling over 160,000 trucks, specifically certain 2024 to 2025 Tundra and Tundra Hybrid models, due to a malfunctioning rear-view camera display. The issue may cause the display to become stuck on a camera view or show a black image, increasing the crash risk when reversing. To address this, Toyota will replace the Parking Assist software at no cost to owners, who will receive notification letters by March 2026. The problem, first reported in 2022, was confirmed in early 2025 after testing revealed that an unusual signal could disrupt the display. The software update will also include improvements to address a slight delay in the rear-view image when reversing. Inspired by the tragic death of a Sri Lankan woman in a detention facility, 27-year-old art school graduate Kensho Sakamoto created the film Imaginary Line for his graduation project at Tokyo University of the Arts. The film explores the challenges faced by foreign nationals in Japan amidst tougher immigration policies. It tells the story of Yume, a Japanese-born girl without residency status due to her mother's illegal entry, and her friend Fumiko, who struggles with the injustice of the immigration system. After discovering the plight of detainees through first-hand interviews, Sakamoto aimed to raise awareness about the immigration laws and their impact on people's lives. The film is being screened at Art House Theater Eurospace in Tokyo and will be shown outside Tokyo soon after. Sakamoto hopes the film invites audiences to reconsider their narrow-minded perceptions of foreigners in Japan. U.S. reconnaissance Marines encountered bears on 4 occasions during recent parachute training in northern Japan, as reported by Lieutenant Colonel Cody Grimm of the U.S. Army's 11th Airborne Division. Soldiers from the 3rd Battalion, 509th Parachute Infantry Regiment participated in parachute training in various locations, armed with bear spray for possible encounters, as is usual in the regiment's home of Alaska. With bear sightings increasing in Japan, particularly following several serious incidents leading to deaths and injuries this past year, the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force has been mobilized to tackle these concerns. The bear population in Japan has doubled over the last 3 decades, and the ongoing exercises, now in their 33rd year, have seen a new element of danger to the joint exercises of participating Japanese, American, Canadian, and British soldiers. The annual North Wind exercises take place until February 3rd. Japan's second richest man, Masayoshi Son, chairman of SoftBank Group, has reportedly abandoned plans to acquire U.S. data center operator Switch, Inc., a setback for his goal to develop the Stargate AI infrastructure. Despite pursuing a deal worth approximately $50 billion for months, concerns over the deal's scale and operational logistics led to its halt. Analysts note that abandoning the acquisition leaves SoftBank's data center ambitions uncertain, particularly as announcements regarding the Stargate project are scarce. While full acquisition talks are off the table, discussions for a partial investment or partnership between the two companies continue. In the past year, SoftBank has heavily invested in AI, including a significant stake in OpenAI and acquisitions in AI-related sectors, utilizing asset sales for funding. Tori Yaro Dogenzaka, an izakaya in Tokyo's Shibuya district, recently posted a sign banning customers under 30 or over 39 years old, aiming to align its clientele with its youthful atmosphere. The pub has printed a number of caveats to its rule in small print, but still, older patrons can certainly challenge the ban on legal grounds. The establishment's PR representative cited the tendency of older customers to complain about noise levels as a reason for the restriction. This practice echoes trends in South Korea, where many venues enforce similar age limits, often excluding patrons over 30 or even 25. Critics have labeled the Tokyo pub's policy as discriminatory, with one commentator suggesting that age is not a measure of youthfulness. Sakae Tanaka, head of the University of Tokyo Hospital, has resigned due to bribery scandals among staff. He stepped down to take responsibility for management failures linked to misconduct. This follows the most recent arrest of Professor Shinichi Sato, accused of accepting entertainment favors worth about 1.8 million yen from the Japan Cosmetic Association in return for exclusion on a joint research project. The Tokyo Metropolitan Police are also investigating others involved. The hospital has said it will cooperate with the investigation and work to promote compliance among staff. President of Tokyo University, Teruo Fujii, expressed regret over the arrests and emphasized the importance of ethical behavior. Fujii held a news conference Wednesday to outline actions following the scandal. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government issued a new influenza advisory this week after reports of suspected outbreaks at schools and social welfare facilities surpassed 6,000 cases. This is the first time in 17 years that a new advisory has been issued within the same flu season after a previous warning was lifted. The government first issued an advisory for this flu season in October and later removed it. However, recent data showed that the number of patients at hospitals in Tokyo last week exceeded the advisory threshold by nearly 40%. The increase in cases is believed to be linked to travel during the holiday season and the reopening of schools. The government is recommending that people wash their hands frequently, disinfect surfaces, and wear masks. That brings us to the end of this week's news update. And once again, your visit to theTokyoBill.com would be greatly appreciated. I've been, and remain, Tokyo Bill. Thank you for listening, and take care.